Imagine opening a dusty book from 400 years ago and suddenly understanding why teenagers today say it's giving main character energy. Sounds impossible, right? Welcome to Coffee English, where we uncover the fascinating connections that make language learning truly transformative. Today, we're embarking on a journey through time. We'll unlock a secret code that bridges Shakespeare's quill pen to your smartphone keyboard. This episode will revolutionize how you perceive every new slang word you encounter. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed when people use expressions you've never heard before. Instead, you'll feel like a linguistic detective who knows precisely where to look for clues. But here's what makes this truly remarkable. You won't just learn about English. You'll discover universal patterns that help you understand how humans create meaning in every context. The same forces that shaped medieval poetry are actively shaping the words people type in group chats right now. Before we begin, I want you to think about this. Share in the comments one slang expression that confused you recently. Your story might be exactly what another learner needs to hear. Sometimes knowing we are not alone in our confusion is the first step to breakthrough understanding. What I'm about to tell you might completely change how you think about language. When people first encounter Shakespeare's writing, they often claim it feels like a foreign language. But researchers have discovered something fascinating. Shakespeare was the first to document over 1,700 words in written English that we still use today. This means you already know hundreds of these innovations from 4 centuries ago without realizing it. Consider words like lonely, eyeball, fashionable, or uncomfortable. These feel completely natural to you now. But 400 years ago, they were as fresh and startling as when someone first said, "That's so random," or "I'm totally ghosting him." This creates an intriguing mystery. How did Shakespeare's unconventional new words become mainstream? And why do some modern slang words feel immediately comprehensible while others feel like riddles? The answer lies in pattern recognition. Your brain constantly searches for familiar structures in new words. It functions like a detective that never stops investigating. Let me demonstrate something incredible about how your mind operates. When you hear someone say, "She's throwing shade," your brain doesn't simply memorize this as a random combination of words. It recognizes ancient patterns that humans have employed for millennia. The pattern is this: we take a physical action and assign it emotional significance. Shakespeare employed exactly the same technique when he wrote about breaking hearts or stealing hearts. Hearts don't literally break or get stolen, but the physical metaphor helps us comprehend emotional reality. Now consider modern examples. When someone says, "I'm dying," because something is hilarious, they're using the same pattern. When people talk about burning someone with a brilliant comeback, they're following rules that Shakespeare understood intuitively. This is why studying etymology becomes like acquiring a superpower. Etymology is the study of word origins and their evolution through time. Once you recognize the patterns, you can anticipate what new expressions mean before anyone explains them to you. Through centuries of research, linguists have identified that all slang, from Shakespeare's era to TikTok, follows 3 fundamental principles. Understanding these principles will revolutionize everything about how you approach new expressions. Principle number 1 is metaphor transfer. Humans consistently describe complex concepts using simple physical experiences. Shakespeare gave us "wear your heart on your sleeve." Modern speakers give us "she's so extra" or "that's fire." Different vocabulary, identical mental process. Principle number 2 is sound psychology. Certain sounds convey harshness, others suggest smoothness. Shakespeare recognized that bubble sounds playful because of those soft consonants. Modern slang creators understand that simp sounds weak because of that sharp, compressed sound pattern. Your ear is naturally trained to perceive emotions in sound structures. Principle number 3 is group identity formation. Every community develops specialized vocabulary to demonstrate belonging and exclude outsiders. Shakespeare wrote for specific audiences who grasped his references. Every generation creates expressions that signal membership in their group. These rules never change, only the specific words change. Here's what most people never realize. Your brain is already an expert at this pattern recognition. You demonstrate it daily without conscious thought. When you understand that someone is spilling tea, you're not merely learning vocabulary. You're recognizing that humans frequently use container metaphors for sharing information. We pour out our hearts. We bottle up feelings. We overflow with emotion. Shakespeare employed the same containers when he wrote about pouring poison in ears. This explains why some slang feels instantly familiar, while other expressions feel alien. The familiar slang follows patterns your brain already recognizes from classical literature, everyday metaphors, and fundamental human experience. Let me offer you a quick demonstration. Without consulting anything, what do you think "she's serving looks" means? Your brain probably indicated it means she looks exceptionally good, like she's presenting her appearance confidently. You recognize this because serving connects to presentation, looks relates to appearance, and the combination suggests active confidence. You just demonstrated the Shakespeare effect in action. These language patterns do not just help with English learning. They reveal something profound about how humans understand everything. In your career, in your relationships, in your personal growth, you use exactly the same pattern recognition skills. When you meet someone new, your brain looks for familiar patterns in their behavior. When you face a challenge, you search for similarities to problems you have solved before. When you try to explain something complex, you naturally reach for simple metaphors. Great teachers know this. They do not just give you information. They help you see how new knowledge connects to patterns you already understand. The same skill that helps you decode "she's living her best life" will help you understand complex ideas in business, relationships, and personal development. This is why language learning is actually life skill development. Every time you figure out a new expression, you strengthen your ability to find patterns in any confusing situation. Our traditional phrase today comes from Shakespeare himself, but it speaks directly to modern experience. "All that glitters is not gold" appears in The Merchant of Venice, and it warns us about surface appearances. In Shakespeare's time, people worried about fake gold coins. Today, we worry about fake social media lives, fake reviews, fake promises from businesses or politicians. The specific concerns change, but the human wisdom remains exactly the same. This phrase teaches us something important about slang learning too. Do not be impressed just because an expression sounds trendy or popular. Some slang expressions have real staying power because they capture something true about human experience. Others disappear quickly because they are just empty fashion. The expressions that last are the ones that connect to deep patterns of human thought and feeling. When you learn to recognize these deeper patterns, you develop better judgment about which expressions are worth your learning energy. Let me give you a fun challenge that will surprise you with your own abilities. I am going to describe 3 made-up slang expressions. Using your new understanding of patterns, see if you can guess what each one might mean. First expression, he's totally clouding the conversation. Remember the metaphor transfer rule. Think about what clouds do to clear skies. Second expression, that idea is so crispy. Think about sound psychology. What does crispy suggest about texture, freshness, and clarity? Third expression, she's broadcasting her feelings. Consider the container and technology metaphors humans love to use. Take a moment to think about your guesses. Notice how your brain automatically searches for familiar patterns. Notice how you feel more confident making these guesses than you might have felt before this episode. Your guesses probably made sense because you applied universal human language patterns. This is the same skill that will help you understand real slang as it appears in conversations, movies, and social media. Here is what we have discovered together today. Understanding language history does not trap you in the past. It gives you a master key to unlock the future. Every time someone creates a new expression, they use ancient patterns that your brain can recognize. This changes everything about how you approach English learning. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by constantly changing slang, you can feel excited. Each new expression is a puzzle that you have the tools to solve. You are not memorizing random vocabulary anymore. You are developing pattern recognition superpowers. But this goes much deeper than language learning. You have learned to see connections between past and present, between different types of human expression, between language and life. These thinking skills will serve you in every area of your growth. Your challenge for this week is simple but powerful. When you encounter a new slang expression or idiom, do not immediately look it up. First, spend 30 seconds looking for patterns. What metaphors do you recognize? What sounds feel familiar? What human experiences might this expression be describing? Then check if you were right. You will be amazed at how often your pattern recognition leads you to correct understanding. This is Coffee English, where every episode reveals new connections between language and life. Today you discovered that Shakespeare and modern slang speakers are creative partners across centuries. They both understood something essential about how human minds create meaning through patterns. You learned that your brain is already equipped with powerful pattern recognition abilities. You just needed to become aware of them and trust them more. This awareness will accelerate every aspect of your English learning journey. Remember to share your slang confusion stories in the comments. Your questions help other learners realize they are not alone in finding certain expressions puzzling. Together, we create a community where confusion becomes curiosity, and curiosity becomes confidence. Keep exploring these hidden connections. Keep trusting your brain's ability to find patterns. Keep celebrating each moment when something that seemed impossible suddenly makes perfect sense. Until next time, keep discovering the magic in language. Keep finding the bridges between what you know and what you are learning. The patterns are always there, waiting for you to notice them.